Hi everyone. The other day I was able to play Airsoft in a real hotel, and I'd like to share what it's like, because it was a really cool experience.
Go, 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 go!
So, the place is called Get At City, and the event was held in the New City Capsule and Sauna Hotel. This hotel had previously gone bankrupt, so I think that's why we were able to play in this hotel. That's me. I'm playing in a paintball jersey and a dye i5 mask, just because it's so hot. All of my goggles were fogging up, and Japanese summer is brutal. It feels like 35 degrees and 100% humidity every day. So, what are my initial impressions? Honestly, it's probably the most fun playing Airsoft I've ever had. And I've been playing Airsoft since 2005. Playing in a real building is very different to playing regular indoor Airsoft. When you're playing regular indoor Airsoft, the barricades are usually put up in a way so that you get good cover from one angle, but you're exposed from another. So there are many angles that you need to watch, and you can never predict with certainty where you're going to get shot from. But it's completely different when you're playing in a real building with real furniture. For example, when we were playing in the bathhouse, we were able to completely lock it down because there were only two entrances and we had a lot of natural cover. The enemies that wanted to attack us had to come all the way down this hallway or through a really difficult to traverse stairwell in the dark. When we had to breach this room in turn, we were only able to do it with the help of grenades. Lots of grenades. You can accomplish pretty much anything if you have enough grenades. It was super fun stacking up in breaching rooms, pieing corners, and diving for cover behind bookshelves. Also, using dual pistols indoors was a blast. So, how convenient is it? Well, the field is pretty convenient to access. It's about a 5 to 10 minute walk from Sakuragicho Station in Yokohama. This station is about 40 minutes from Shinjuku Station if you're coming from central Tokyo. There are also lots of bars and convenience stores in the area, so it's really easy to grab a drink or some food. One thing though, it is in the red light district, so yeah. So how comfortable was it? Well, it was fine. They had AC, which was great, but the fifth floor was a little hot, so we didn't really play there. All of the other floors were quite cool though. They had tables to set up your guns, there was free cold water and tea, there was an elevator which made it easy to haul all your stuff to the staging area. They also had multiple toilets, but they were in the field, so you couldn't use them while a match was taking place, otherwise you'd end up like that guy at the end of the South Park episode about Airsoft. Probably the best part of the field was that there was an actual airsoft bar right next door, which had its own little shooting range and a fun all-you-can-drink, all-you-can-shoot package. This was about 1,000 yen per hour, so we spent a few hours relaxing there after the game. So, what game modes did they play? They played quite a lot of different game modes. We started with Team Deathmatch with respawns. One team started on the 5th floor and the other on the 1st. This was fun because you never knew where the enemy was going to be, and it gave you time to learn the map. We did get really tired though, because every time you died we had to go all the way back up to the 5th floor, and that was incredibly tiring. My legs still hurt. After that, we moved on to playing Plant the Bomb. For this game mode, as you can expect, someone had to plant a bomb. One team had to defend 2 different bombing locations, while the other team had to plant the bomb there. Very strong Counter-Strike vibes. The next game was definitely the most enjoyable. They called it the Vampire game. It's similar to the Infected game mode from Call of Duty. 3 players were chosen to be the vampires, and the other 25 players needed to hide. If a vampire kills you, you become a vampire too. This was also probably the longest game too, at around 15 to 20 minutes. It becomes super fun at the end when you're one of the last survivors and you need to light up wave after wave of attackers. Who were once your friends? So, how was the management? The management of the event was pretty good. It seemed like there were big breaks in between the games, which could have been shorter, and we spent a lot of time waiting in the start area for other players to come. But this wasn't a huge problem because lots of us were tired from running up and down the stairs, so it was nice to have a break. The only real complaint everyone seemed to have was about the reservation process. You can't make a reservation via the internet. You have to make it via the app Line. Line is like WhatsApp in Japan. This is a little annoying because for all of the other fields, you can just make the reservation on the web, and it only takes a few seconds. For this field, you have to add them as a friend online, fill in a membership form, then you need to apply for the game you want to join using Google Forms. It's a bit of a hassle, but that was the only really annoying thing that people found. So, how much does it cost? It was about 5,000 yen, which at the time of recording is $36. The game went from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. There was no lunch break, but there were some small breaks in between games. If you didn't have gear, you were able to hire it no problem. They also had stuff like gas and BBs you could buy if you ran out. So, what were the rules? All of the rules there were pretty lenient. You could use gas, CO2, and electric guns, but all guns had to be below 90 meters per second. But if your gun was shooting over, you could just use the Marui speed limiter. You could also use grenades, but only one per person per match. There was no minimum engagement distance, so lighting people up point blank was fine, and you could basically move as fast as you wanted, as long as you were careful. What were the other players like? Well, the place had a good mix of players. Some were in full military kit, like Dan, while others were just wearing sportswear. There were lots of different weapons too. Some players were using gas blowback rifles like the new Marui Mark 18, while others had custom-made Desert Eagles with 10-inch barrels running on external CO2. There was a good mix. What was the atmosphere like? It was quite relaxing. Due to space and probably Corona, matches were limited to 30 people. This is great when you have a 5-floor hotel to play in because it never feels cramped. All of the players we were playing with there were cool too. Everyone called their hits and was a good sport. There was no cheating or fighting. What are my final thoughts? Well, playing in a hotel was great. I felt like I was playing Rainbow Six Vegas, which was one of my favorite games in the early 2000s, and looking back on it was probably one of the reasons I got into Airsoft. If you want to play in a hotel too, check out the links in the description. Bye!